Hello everyone, good to see you again. Welcome to The Way. This is our Christmas series, looking at some promises of God about what the rescuer is going to look like, that he's going to send in the future. So at Christmas, we know that the rescuer is Jesus, born in a manger in Bethlehem. But for the people of the Old Testament, they didn't know what was going to happen. They knew that God was going to send someone to rescue them, but they didn't know what shape, size, person, who it would be, where they would be, what they'd be like, how they would rescue us. They didn't know any information at all. So God kept telling them little bits of information about the most important things that the rescuer would do. And last week we looked at the Garden of Eden, where God promises that he would send the rescuer to crush the serpent's head, and he would destroy death and evil and destruction forever. This week we look at God's promise to Abraham, and God makes Abraham an amazing promise. It's massive. But before we get into that, I want to have a think about who is in your circle. Right, so when we're in school or college or church or whoever we're with, we've got some people who are like the closest to us, haven't we? They're maybe our best friends. We share everything with them, and they are the people that we're closest with. Then we have a wider circle of people that we're friends with. We might have a laugh with, we might hang out with, we enjoy their company, but we might not share everything with them to the same extent as that kind of small circle. And then we've got people wider than that who we know, we like, but we don't really hang out because we haven't got so much in common. And I think COVID has kind of shown us who is in our innermost circle. So what I'd like you to do is have a look on your phone and check who are the three last people that you sent a text to. It's interesting to kind of see who you've chatted with last on different social media and who you've been in touch with, because that shows us who is important to us. If we reach out to people, if we spend time with people, if you had a really, really big problem, who would you go to? If you have a secret that you're just dying to tell someone, who do you go to? Who do you burst in front of and just kind of blurt out the secret with? Because those are the people who are in your inner circle that you're closest to. These are your closest friends. And God shows us a little bit of that in the Old Testament. So we're going to look at Genesis 12, where God speaks to Abraham. Right, in this passage, God tells Abraham that God is going to have him and him alone, his family alone, as God's inner circle. God is going to bless him and give him everything he can. He's going to bless Abraham. He's going to bless his family. He's going to bless people who bless Abraham's family. He's going to curse people who curse Abraham and his family. So this is God saying, Abraham, I have got your back. You are my main man. Okay? And that's how the Old Testament kind of works a little bit. So if we backtrack all the way to Noah, if you know the story of Noah, the whole world gets flooded by God, but God picks one person, one family, and they go onto the ark and no one else. Noah is God's main man. And his family are the ones who God chooses to bless with all of God's blessings. And then you get this whole thing where Noah's firstborn son gets blessed by God, and his firstborn son gets blessed by God. And you get those whole lists in the Bible of like so and so begat so and so begat so and so begat so and so. It's on The Simpsons and stuff. Because people think that is what the Bible is like, and the Bible is really boring. Now, I agree, those chapters can be a little bit dull, but the purpose of those is for showing us these are the people who God is blessing. These are the people of God's blessing, right? And from Noah all the way up to Abraham, God says, you are my main man. You are where I'm going to focus my blessing. No one else in the world. Your family. But this promise to Abraham is slightly different, because it begins with God saying that God is going to bless Abraham and his family. But then he widens that out. Do you notice? He says, I will make you into a great nation. And then that nation will be blessed. So we've gone from one family to a great nation, to a country, right? A people of the people of God. And that's what we get from Abraham all the way up to the end of the Old Testament. Is we've got God blessing not just one person, but we're seeing the widening of God's blessing to an entire country. And we'll see through the Old Testament how God pours out his blessing and his love and his forgiveness and his goodness to Israel, to Judah. Right, but then comes the really exciting bit, and the bit that God is promising something even bigger. Right, is that he says right at the end. So it's not just Abraham's family who are going to benefit from the blessings of God. It's not just Abraham's country that's going to benefit from the blessings of God. But he says all families on the earth will be blessed through you. All families on the earth will be blessed through you. This is God exploding his love around the globe. And God is dropping us a hint there that God's rescuer isn't going to come just for one family. God's rescuer isn't going to be an ark for one family, just like Noah's. This is going to be the rescuer, because this rescuer is going to be an ark for the whole globe. Every single family in the world will be blessed through this rescuer, through Abraham's offspring, through his family line is going to come Jesus, the Saviour of the whole world, not just Abraham's family, not just the country that he lives in, but every single country, every single family, every single person around the world has access to God's love, God's blessing, God's forgiveness through Jesus Christ our Saviour. And that's why we celebrate Christmas, because this is massive, right? If you put yourself in the shoes of someone in the Old Testament, we wouldn't be in Abraham's family. We wouldn't have access to that blessing. We're not even in Abraham's country. We're in an island off the coast of Europe, thousands of miles away from where Abraham was. We wouldn't have access to this. We are in that outer circle. But God's saying to Abraham that he's not going to have those circles of really close friends and acquaintances. He's not going to work like that anymore. He is going to offer his love to the entire world. And that is where you and I come in. So it is through Jesus, it's only through Jesus that we have access to the love of God. It's only through Jesus that he invites us in to God's circle of blessing. This is amazing love poured out on the whole world at Christmas, and we need to remember that. That's why we celebrate Christmas, because without Christmas we'd be lost. So let's just thank God this Christmas for inviting us in to his circle of blessing, that we would experience the blessings of Abraham through Jesus Christ. So God says to Abraham, leave your native country, your relatives, your father's family, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you and make you famous, and you will be a blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who treat you with contempt. All the families on earth will be blessed through you.